Do you ever feel like you're not good enough or that everyone else has it figured out except you? Yeah, me too. Self-doubt is something we all experience at some point in our life. But the real question is, how do we move past it? Today, I want to share the things that have helped me challenge my self-doubt, build confidence, and keep moving forward, even when that little voice in my head tries to hold me back. So, let's get into it. The first step in overcoming self-doubt is recognizing it when it happens. Most of the time, we don't even question those negative thoughts. We just accept them as true. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, where is the thought coming from? Is it based on facts or is it just fear talking? For example, let's just say you want to start a new project, but your mind says, you're not talented enough, people will judge you. Where is that coming from? Is there actual proof that you'll fail? Probably not, right? More often than not, self-doubt is a conditioned response from past experiences, perfectionism, or just fear of failure. And the key is to separate who you are from the negative thoughts you have. Self-doubt is just a thought, not your reality. So just let it go. Just do what you have to do despite the fear that you have. And soon that self-doubt will turn into just a thought that just passed by, So just separate it from who you are and keep going. Just do what you have to do what you want to do without any kind of second thoughts in your head. So number 2, once you identify self-doubt, the next challenge is to challenge it. The next step is to challenge it. Imagine if every negative thought in your mind had to go through a fact checker before it was allowed to affect you. Would those thoughts still hold up? For instance, if I think I'll never be good at this, I ask myself, have I actually put enough time to know for sure? If I wouldn't say it to someone I care about, why am I saying it to myself, right? Why would I say, I'll never be good at this, I'm not good enough, whatever. Would you really say that to a friend of yours who's struggling or who struggles to find confidence to do something? No, right? You would probably encourage them. So encourage yourself too. Don't put yourself down. Encourage yourself because you are your friend too, right? You shouldn't treat yourself less than others. And I know all of us can be our worst critics sometimes, but you have to stop doing that. Yes, being critical of yourself and reflecting is good, but at the same time, it's also important for you to encourage yourself, speak nicely to yourself, because you yourself deserve that too. Another thing that I found helpful is keeping a wins journal. I've mentioned this in my previous video, and whenever I accomplish something, big or small, I write it all down in a notebook, a small notebook. And when self-doubt tries to convince me that I'm not good enough, I have actual proof that I can do the hard things, that I went through the hard things, I overcame the hard things. So try this for a month and see how much your perspective shifts. This was one of the biggest things that have really helped me, especially when I was running my business, because sometimes when you're running a small business, you either get sales or you don't get sales, or you get a little bit of sales and suddenly you get a lot of sales. So it's very inconsistent and not future proof. I would say it's not consistent, so it's not to a point where you're feeling safe that you're earning a lot of sales. So prevent myself from thinking, I'm not good enough to be a business owner, I'm not good enough to be an entrepreneur, whatever. I look at the things that I've been through, what I've done, and what I'm still doing, how hard I'm working every day or things like that. I just write those things down so that when I go back and look at it, I feel more motivated. So have a wins journal if that really helps, if you really need a reminder. I know some of you might be like, I'll remember all the good things that I did. No. Once that thought of self-doubt comes into you, you won't think about that. You will just keep thinking about the negative things that you've either missed or didn't do well. So have a wins journal. Have it to keep you motivated, keep you going, and prove to yourself that you are good enough and you will overcome whatever difficulty or challenge you're getting at this moment. Step 3. One thing about self-doubt is that it thrives in inaction. The more we hesitate, the more we let fear build up. So instead of waiting until you feel ready, take one small step forward. Think of it like this. If you're learning how to swim, you don't jump straight into the deep end of the water, right? You start by dipping your toes in the water, then standing in the shallow water, and then slowly practicing how to swim. And it's the same with confidence. It grows when you take small, manageable steps outside of your comfort zone. So, for example, if you're doubting your ability to speak up in a meeting, start by preparing one short point to say. If you're nervous about starting a creative project, just commit to brainstorming for 10 minutes. Small wins build momentum. One thing that helped me grow, especially as an introvert, was talking. Because a lot of the times when I was working in hospitality, and even to this day, because I have to speak with vendors, and I just need to speak to people at work too, right? And if you're an introvert, it's kind of difficult to get along with people, and sometimes you have to speak up at times, but you just can't because you just don't like talking to people, and you're more of the type of person who just kind of listens or just keeps things to themselves. And for me, it took me a lot of time to actually practice what I wanted to say, practice how to socialize with people, think about questions I want to ask them. So for me, it took me a lot of planning every time I went out with people, planning on what to say, planning on what I want to ask them, and then actually taking that action in person, and then keep doing it. And later on, it became something that I was pretty good at as an introvert. A lot of people don't really think that I'm an introvert, but yes, I am an introvert, and I'm shy too. So it took me a lot of time to really practice and hone in on the social skills, but here I am. Another step, which is step number 4, is avoid the comparison trap. I think we've all fallen into comparison trap at some point. I mean, it's I feel like everyone is struggling with it. Well, maybe not everyone, but most people are. Especially with social media, it's so easy to look at other people and think, oh, they have it all figured out. Here's the truth. What you see online is a highlight reel, not the full story, right? Those people could have gone through long time of difficulties, struggles, and then they've gotten to their highest point. Or they could just be filming themselves on the best day ever and posting it online, and then they're struggling as well. So you never know. So what I'm trying to say is, you might see someone who's super successful, but you don't see the years of trial and error that they've been through. So you don't see their self-doubts, their failures, their behind-the-scenes struggles, unless they do really show it to you. But most of the time, it's always just the glamorous part, right, that we put on Instagram. And we don't usually post Instagram photos or even TikTok of us. Well, maybe some people do, but most people tend to post things that make them happy, post things that are pretty to see or nice to see. So it's just not everything, right? So we just need to keep that in mind. And so instead of comparing yourself to others, compare yourself to who you were yesterday. Focus on progress, not perfection. Your journey is yours alone, and that's what makes it valuable. Your journey is your journey. It's not going to be the exact same way as how someone did it. Yeah, there might be some similarities, sure, but you have to realize that not everything's going to go exactly the way you plan it to, and exactly the way that someone else have it. You yourself is your competition, is what I kind of like to tell myself. because I am a very competitive person and I used to compare myself. I still do compare myself to others from time to time, but I always like to compare myself to how I was yesterday, just so that it kind of shows me that I have improved in some ways and some places that I should improve on, I should work on. Don't compare yourself to others is what I want to say. It's definitely a huge I don't want to say issue, but it's definitely one of those things, one of the main factors for you to start doubting yourself. Step number 5, speak kindly to yourself. The way you speak to yourself matters. If you wouldn't say it to a friend, just don't say it to yourself. One way to rewire your mindset is through positive affirmations. And I know it might sound cliche, but affirmations work because your brain kind of believes in it when you start repeatedly saying it. So say like, I am capable of handling challenges. I trust myself to figure things out. I have overcome obstacles before and I will again. Like something similar to those kind of affirmations. Or if you don't like affirmations, simply believing in it to yourself, like just say, like thinking it to yourself, like, okay, I can do it. I got over this before, let's do it again. We can do it. If you think that you can't do something, then you won't be able to do something. But the more you have belief in yourself that you can do it, that you will get through it somehow or some way, you will. So just let it go. Stop thinking so hard about it. Stop doubting yourself and just believe in yourself and believe in your abilities to overcome that challenge. Self-doubt is a part of life, but it doesn't have to define you. And the next time you hear that inner voice saying you're not good enough, remember you have a choice. You can believe it or just forget about it. Like whatever you're doing might seem scary at first, but if you take small steps forward and ignore whatever little thoughts in your head is giving you, you'll get through it and you will overcome it. And you're just gonna be looking back and thinking, oh, it was nothing. Why was I stressing about it? Like I tend to find myself doing that a lot. And I know that will happen to you too. That's going to be it for this video. If this helped, let me know in the comments. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.